Did you know Obi-Wan Kenobi had a brother? In the novelization of Return of the Jedi, the identity of Obi-Wan's brother is revealed. When Luke realized that Leia was his sister all along, Obi-Wan told Luke, "Your insight serves you well." Luke tried to comprehend what his old teacher was saying. So much information, so fast, it was almost too much to take in at one time. Ben Kenobi continued his narrative, telling Luke when his father left, he didn't know his mother was pregnant. Obi-Wan wanted to keep Luke and Leia safe as long as possible. He took Luke to live with his brother Owen on Tatooine, while Luke's mother took Leia to live as the daughter of Senator Organa on Alderaan, revealing that Uncle Owen was actually Obi-Wan's secret brother. Why did Obi-Wan Kenobi not believe Count Dooku in Attack of the Clones? Restrained by cracking bolts of blue energy, Obi-Wan Kenobi could only watch helplessly as Count Dooku walked into the room. After he had a moment to reflect, Obi-Wan decided he had little to lose and wanted to press Dooku, that he might uncover the truth. Dooku told Obi-Wan that Qui-Gon Jinn knew all about the corruption in the Senate, revealing that even Yoda and Mace Windu were aware. He then revealed the truth to Obi-Wan, that the Republic was under the control of a Dark Lord of the Sith named Darth Sidious. The words hit Obi-Wan as profoundly as any of the electric bolts holding him ever could. Obi-Wan was the only living Jedi who had battled a Sith and survived, and it had cost Qui-Gon Jinn his life. He told Count Dooku that he did not believe him, but in reality, Obi-Wan only wished he believed what he had just proclaimed. What were Darth Vader's first thoughts right after he killed Obi-Wan Kenobi? At the end of their duel aboard the Death Star, Vader kept his eyes focused on his former master. Unexpectedly, Obi-Wan raised his lightsaber before him and closed his eyes. Vader could hardly believe the fact that the Jedi was surrendering. Without mercy, Vader swung through Obi-Wan's form. He fully expected the satisfying sound of Obi-Wan's ruined body collapsing on the floor, but the Sith Lord was astonished to see only the Jedi's robes and lightsaber at his feet. Obi-Wan's body had completely vanished. He stared at Obi-Wan's weapon and empty robe, as he then prodded the clothes with his boot. He questioned where was he, how could he vanish, and what sort of trickery was this? But unknown to Vader, Obi-Wan had become more powerful than he could have possibly imagined. Why did Obi-Wan Kenobi need to train Luke Skywalker to be a Jedi? We get to see Obi-Wan's internal thoughts on this in the canon novel, Skywalker, A Family at War. Obi-Wan desperately wanted to train Luke Skywalker just as he had his father. He thought it would help make up for his mistakes in the past he had made the first time with Anakin. It was the true reason why he kept Anakin's lightsaber stowed away. He hoped one day Luke would inherit it. Obi-Wan hoped to make things right in the galaxy by helping the boy reach his full potential in the Force. The main problem with this was Owen Lars. His uncle did not want Luke becoming fascinated with the past and follow in his father's footsteps and turn into a vengeful killer. He distinctly remembered how Anakin had reacted to his mother's death. Obi-Wan knew the day would come when he would be old enough to choose his own path. Later in his life, Obi-Wan came to wonder if the prophecy had been misread, and it was Luke who was truly the chosen one, and not Anakin. Why did Obi-Wan Kenobi age so quickly during his exile on Tatooine? The answer to this question can be found in the canon novel Skywalker, A Family at War. After the Jedi Order's fall, Obi-Wan Kenobi found peace and simplicity. He learned to fend for himself, and survived on eating snake stew and other nutrient-rich foods. Obi-Wan Kenobi also spent his days meditating among the Gentle Bantha. Shortly after his arrival on Tatooine, he became known as Old Ben among the children of Mos Eisley. Kenobi's beard and hair turned gray. The harsh climate and the stress of all he endured aged him rapidly. He still had countless nightmares about what happened to Anakin. How was Obi-Wan Kenobi as a Padawan able to defeat Darth Maul in The Phantom Menace? After beating Qui-Gon Jinn, Darth Maul walked to the edge above Obi-Wan. He was filled with joy and believed the battle to be over, with Obi-Wan's certain doom to come. With his eyes fixed on the Sith Lord, Obi-Wan connected deeply with the Force. Obi-Wan then launched himself upward, filled with clarity of purpose and strength of heart. He cleared the top easily and somersaulted behind the Sith Lord in one smooth motion. As the young Jedi Padawan landed, he immediately drew Qui-Gon Jinn's fallen lightsaber to his hand. Before the Dark Lord could save himself, the green lightsaber Obi-Wan held slashed right through his chest, cutting him in half. Obi-Wan watched as Darth Maul tumbled away and fell into the pit. Why did Palpatine need Obi-Wan Kenobi dead? Before Dooku's duel with Skywalker and Kenobi in Revenge of the Sith, Dooku would ask his master Darth Sidious for one last chance to turn Obi-Wan to the dark side. Palpatine knew Dooku had been interested in Kenobi for a long time. Count Dooku looked at Obi-Wan differently because his master Qui-Gon was his Padawan. Dooku almost saw Obi-Wan as a grandson. Sidious denied it immediately, telling his apprentice Kenobi was too old and poisoned by Jedi fables. He told Dooku that Kenobi must die today at his hand. With the death of his master, it may be the final piece to break Anakin Skywalker, allowing him to pledge himself to the dark side of the Force. Just before the start of the Galactic Civil War, Bail Organa would attempt to recruit Obi-Wan Kenobi to the rebellion. Mon Mothma's thoughts about Obi-Wan Kenobi are explored in the novelization for Rogue One, a Star Wars story. While talking with Bail Organa, Mon Mothma told him if the Empire used the weapon at Jedha, they will use it again. That they can't prevent these genocides, but only resist them. Bail nodded in agreement, telling her they will need every advantage. It took a moment for Mon to understand. A Jedi returning to the fight against the Empire. It seemed an impossible thought, so Mon focused on what was not. Senator Organa said he served him well during the Clone Wars, and has lived in hiding since the Emperor's Purge. The extraction for the Death Star plan should be simple, but if it's not, his skills will be an asset. She told him whoever makes contact with the Jedi will have a terrible responsibility. That, of course, would be his daughter, Princess Leia.